Hey there, Mary Sheila here. And I recently had the privilege of interviewing a few of my Vitality Club members. And as a part of my Optimize Your Metabolism coaching week that I just finished, I shared the interviews throughout the week because it really related to what we were learning and what I was teaching about. And I decided that I wanted to share that video here on my YouTube channel because it's just so profound, and I might end up sharing a couple more. And this is with one of my Vitality Club members, Belinda, who is awesome and has made amazing changes over the years and is just so healthy and vital, and more healthy and vital than she was like 10 years ago with all the changes she's made. And I'm sharing this today because the Vitality Club doors are currently open, and I would love for you to join. And what's great is you can sign up for the whole year, and there's some great savings, or you could just check it out for a few months or 1 month and just see how you like it and see if it might be something you want to be a part of and join the community, join the club, and really take your health to the next level. I have been in the nutrition world for about 20 years now. And I love teaching and sharing and helping people to make changes that are sustainable, that they understand why, they feel motivated, and to help people have better health and more vitality and more energy and to live their best life. That is what it's all about for me, is to really show up, to support, to deliver, to be of service so that the people that join my community can have incredible vitality and health and do the things that you want to be doing and enjoy your life. So watch Belinda. Let me know if you have any questions, and the doors are not open forever, but if you want to check it out, then I encourage you to do so. Go ahead and enjoy the video. Well, welcome everybody, and welcome Belinda. It's so good to have you. Just share a little bit about your story today. It's so inspiring. So thank you for being here. And all the way from Texas, right?
hmm
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, like we've been working together for a little bit. Tell me what was happening in your health and when you first realized that something really needed to change.
I got a diagnosis of osteopenia, and Kate Hanley, whose blog I was following and her Stress Less book that I had, because working full time, being a single mom, and helping to care for my parents was a lot. I mean, I wouldn't have changed it, but it was a lot. And she mentioned a class that you and
Mary
um,
Beth.
Mary Beth were going to do. And I thought, well, I can fit, even if I can't come, I can fit the recordings in. So I decided to do that and just was hooked. Um, and I'm still listening to your recordings and coming live when I can, all these years later.
Yeah. Oh, I love hearing that name, Kate Hanley, too. A friend of mine. Yeah, that's great. Um, so you had the osteopenia and, what were you like with joining that class? Like what were you hoping would be different there? Like what were you hoping to get out of it?
Well, I wanted an easy fix because I didn't have very much time in my life. And I thought, okay, well, hopefully these ladies will come up with something that, is easy to do and quick. And of course, that's not what happened. Um, you talked about the way to improvement wasn't an easy fix or a pill, though sometimes it could be medication for some people, but it was a multi-point plan to fix so many things that I'm not sure I even knew were going not really well in my life. So that was part of the reason that I've stayed all of this time, because you have to have all of the different pieces in your life working well. And to get them all doing that at the same time is a way bigger balancing act than I'm able to do. So I keep coming back.
Nice, nice. And so that like, so what really motivated you? I guess, you took that class and you realized you could do it, you could fit it in, but you took the action. You had to realize, okay, I don't know what exactly to do for my bones. I want a quick and easy fix, but so you had, now you had maybe like a framework. And so did that feel motivating to take the action? How was that?
Um, well, I certainly knew that things weren't going to get better. I was struggling health wise on lots of other things besides the osteopenia. And so I saw that I could do things that would make my life better in lots of different ways. I was better nourished and better, less stressed because of learning some of the exercises. And there was just so much to learn, I think is the real thing.
Yeah.
So,
So
and you and Mary Beth met me where I was, exercise wise and nutrition wise and understanding wise. And like every time there was just more that I could learn and understand and not be overwhelmed. And so so that was the part that kept me coming back.
so there was more than just the osteopenia that was like kind of that was maybe the catalyst, but there were more reasons that you wanted to do this and feel better and work
A,
together.
a, a lot of the osteopenia was because I sat all day at a job and I commuted an hour in each direction, and finding time to actually move was really, like, to go to a class and move was really hard. And so because we were doing it over Zoom and I could just watch it, I could do it at early in the morning or late at night, or I could do it for 10 minutes and then do it again later for 10 minutes. So it fit into the craziness that was my lifestyle, and it helped me feel so much better that I just kept wanting to learn more from you and Mary Beth.
Nice. Yay. That's great. And so I love that. I mean, I think that is the beauty when we can actually like learn from home and we don't always have to feel like we have to go to the class because that can feel overwhelming. But we still have to take the time to like, log on and watch the replay or show up for the live thing when we are, committed to those kind of things. What do you feel like maybe was some of the things that made the biggest difference in your journey? Because you've had quite the journey, and I'm kind of excited to get into like a lot of the changes that you've made and the success that you've had. But what are some of the biggest habits or practices that made the biggest difference for you?
Um, there are so many that I wrote down. The biggest one is starting again every day. Well, there's a whole bunch tied in here, that I don't have to be perfect, that small habits, small steps, they aren't even habits, they're steps because you have to write them down and think about them every day. And I have sticky notes all over the place. But small things could make a big difference if I did them consistently. So I would pick one of the things that you were talking about and do it, like having the warm water with lemon and salt in the morning, every morning. That has happened for years now. And I don't even think about it as a habit anymore. It just happens. So it's a it's the idea that small things done consistently, and then forgiving myself if I'm not consistent, knowing that I don't have to be perfect and I can still see changes, is the big thing that has kept me like motivated.
That's great. And what are with all of those changes, like what has changed for you in your health? Like what are some of the things that really stand out that you're like, oh, I like your energy maybe, and just all the different things that might have changed?
Well, my energy has changed. My numbers from the doctor have changed dramatically. The needle on the scale has changed and has moved way down, which of course helps all of those things. But that wasn't what I first got into things for. It was um, managing the things that I felt like were out of control. My weight had been the same for a long time. So losing weight is great, and I'm still working on that. But um, it was the idea that I could sleep better, I could eat better, I could. One of the things that I wrote down that used to be hard and isn't anymore is doing meal prep. So I set myself up for success by doing my meal planning and going shopping and having things ready in the fridge. And that way I'm not eating things that I don't want to eat just because I'm really hungry. So that's
Right.
that was one of the things that I do now that I never did before. And
Amazing. And you always tell me, like, just when you go to your doctor, just tell, like, just tell a little bit of those stories of like when you go
well,
to the
I've
doctor.
been to several different doctors, but the one that I see for my sleep, I went in with my list of things that I do from, well, I think it started with the blood sugar one or one of them, because if you're not sleeping, a whole lot of things are not going well in your body. And I had the list of all of those things that I was actually doing. And he was like, wow, you're really doing all of those things? And I said, yeah. And he said, okay, then we're going to have to try some other things because it usually takes me 6 months to get people to do these things. So it was wonderful that it just reinforced that you had me on a good path. Also, my regular doctor, my A1C kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So, of course, he wanted to know. And he could see that I was thinner. Sometimes I wasn't necessarily lighter, but all the moving had made me fitter. And anyway, he wanted to know what I was doing to make all of those things happen. So, yeah, it like every time I went to the doctor after about a year, they all noticed things that were happening. So that's always good.
That's great. And I know too, like your husband gets the benefits of everything and he's into it too in the background, right?
Yeah, he helps and he is benefiting from it. And he told me this morning that I could brag on him just a little bit. This year he's lost 25 pounds. So he's very happy with that. So yeah.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, well, tell him I said woo.
Yes, I will. And it's the whole idea that he eats what I eat. I don't have to cook special things. I mean, I do cook a few special things for him that I do not like, but I don't have to do two meals for all the different meals or anything like that. He also said that he's doing an online program through his medical benefits, and um, he said that it's all the same things that you've been saying for years. So he uh,
Yeah,
he
good,
he
good,
laughed
good.
about that.
Yeah, that's great. He's like, I already know that, just like your doctor, right? Is there anything that you feel like you're doing now more with ease that was harder before, as far as just your day-to-day life?
Oh yeah, the whole idea that I don't have to be perfect is a really new idea for me. I always figured, well, I still think that if you're going to do something and you want to do a good job, that's just kind of normal for me. But if everything doesn't go perfectly, I don't beat myself up anymore. And
Yeah.
the idea that and I wrote this down, that it, I said, if you mess up, and you will, don't give up. Just tell yourself today is a new day and I can start over from yesterday. Or this afternoon, I can try something different. And I have a whole list of the different things. So if I'm tired or wanting snacks or those kinds of things, I think about, okay, have I hydrated? Have I had my water recently? Do I need some more water? Do I really need to take a rest and be calm? Do I need to do breathing or actually take a nap? Do I need to nourish myself with my last meal? Did it have enough protein and fiber and maybe some fruit? So did I get enough protein and carbs? And then would movement be a good idea? Because believe me, for most of the time, that hasn't been something that I actually wanted to do. I had to make myself do that. And now I know that I can take small movement breaks and feel more energized afterwards. So I have this whole list of things that I can do when things aren't going great.
That's awesome. Yeah, you are a good list maker. When sometimes when we're troubleshooting in the Vitality Club, you're like, well, I have a list in my kitchen of the things I can do, and I have a list
Mhm.
here. But that's a great list to kind of because sometimes we just do the thing, right? It's like we might feel a certain way. It could be emotional, could be our energy level, and we grab for the, whatever the snack or the thing or the activity is. And it could even be just like plopping on the couch and watching TV where we're like, gosh, I want to be more motivated and do more things. And like that list is like, well, why am I feeling this? Like, am I really hungry? Well, no, but then, okay, what am I hungry for? Right. And that list is like, do I need hydration? Do I need nourishment? Do I need movement? Do I need rest? I love that. Like just being able to ask those questions because that is one of the things, that I feel like, teaching all of what I teach is like awareness is like the open gate and the path is right laid out in front of you. And like, so that's the awareness. And then along the path, the more we learn about how our body works and functions, the more we can like make the choices that are in alignment, right? So we can take that little moment and be like, okay, what do I really need? Maybe yeah, I'm not saying you, but like, maybe your hand's on the cookie or the chocolate or the bag of chips. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
wait a minute, what do I actually really need? And, even if we just still eat that thing, we still have that awareness and we can like, it's the path to making new choices.
Yeah, it's the idea that if I decide that I want to have the snack that isn't terribly nutritious for me. I also, even at that, try to follow a lot of the rules, like the potato chips we buy, if we buy them for an outing or something that we're going to. Um, they are cooked in either avocado oil or olive oil. They're not cooked in some of the other oils that I don't like to use. So it goes back to your um, better no,
Good, better,
best,
best.
better, yeah, good, better, best, yeah. And so if I am going to have those things, do they at least meet some of my things that I try to follow when I make my nutrition choices? So,
Yes. Yeah.
so yeah, that's um those and again, those kind of shopping things and like that are just ingrained, like we don't even think about them anymore. And there's so much stuff that we don't have at our house. So, um, again, because if the chips are there, we eat them. So,
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Oh, that's great. And so, you know, like for you, you've done so much. You've really changed your health outlook and, and your energy and your day to day. And so it's like, one of the things I like to think about too is like it's not a sprint, right? So much of our lives we might have been like, oh, summer's coming, like I'm going to do all these things for summer or for this wedding or for this whatever event. And instead it's like, okay, like, it feels to me like you're doing a lot of what you're doing for your future self. And, like what would you say, what does healthy aging and your future self like mean to you today at this point?
um, healthy aging means being able to have fun and do a lot of the things that I want to do. So, being able to move, having the energy, and just not ever wanting to give up is things that strike me as some of the people I know who are struggling right now. And also, my mom and my nana had a bunch of health issues as they aged. And we know more now. So I'm trying to do better based on a lot of the medical knowledge that wasn't available 40 years ago or 60 years ago. So, and the healthy daily habits are definitely part of that. So I know that I have more energy now than I did, say, what, 8 or 9 years ago. And I should not, well, I mean, like the whole idea that as I've gotten older, I have more energy is really cool. And the idea that we now know so much more, you know, I wish I had done things 20 years ago, but I didn't. So I'm just doing them now. And I'm sure that things will be better in the future because I am doing them now. And I don't think about them as things that I have to do. It's more like because we know so much more, it's things that I want to do and things that aren't hard or disconcerting, and I've just fit them into my life. So it's not like I have to go do this. And believe me, when we started talking about movement, it was like I had to do it. Like
Yeah, you're like, okay, that's me. Yeah.
I had to say to myself, okay, you can't eat dinner until you do this. Or some of those sorts of things.
Yeah,
But now it's something I enjoy, and part of that is because I have found a community that has helped me learn how to have a different attitude towards it, and that I have friends that are my people that I call if I feel like I'm not doing what I need to be doing. So, um, but yeah, no, my future self will have a much better life in say 10 years because of the all of the habits that I'm doing than I would have if I didn't know about these things. And
right.
all of the different months that we go through in vitality. So we talk about everything in the body. Um, I learned a lot the first time, but I learned so much more because it's not just learning, but it's putting things into action. And because I'm farther along in my good habits, that I'm able to do even more. And I like doing more. I don't like to be bored, so I pick new things. And one of the things that I was thinking about is in the beginning, I took some of the easiest things to do, like having a glass of water in the morning. Um, but now I actually try harder things because I know that if I don't do it perfectly or if I fail altogether, that's just okay. And I can try something else, or I can do it imperfectly for a month. And a really great example of that came to me this morning when I was writing down my um, squats goals. And the beginning of the month, I did way too many the first day and like couldn't move for 3 or 4 days afterwards. But then after that, I picked a reasonable number and I did 10 sit to stands in the morning and 10 in the evening. And even that was a lot of work. And I realized that when I did them this week, because I do them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I wasn't doing them every day because that was too much. Yesterday I did them and I thought, oh, well, that's not hard at all. So between the beginning of the month
Mm.
and the end of the month, and my quadricep muscles, I think it is here, are so
Yeah.
much stronger. So
Awesome.
obviously I'm going to keep that one up because I've done all this work, so I don't want to lose it. But
Totally, totally.
but it's the idea that in the past, if I had done that where I was over exuberant the first day, I just wouldn't have taken it back up. And
Right.
now it's like, okay, I can go back. And you even said to me, well, just do heel raises, um, holding onto your chair instead. So, but I've been doing those too. So, um, but it's the idea that I was getting up out of my chair twice a day, 2 days or 3 days a week, and doing exercises that would make my legs stronger. I mean, like that was how I sort of saw it when I messed up enough to really be sore. But now I'm actually doing the sit to stands and it's okay. So
Mm.
it's just so much fun to be able to see something get better.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. And just to give reference, in the Vitality Club this month, it's all about brain health. And so we're doing squats because strong legs is an indicator of brain health. And so, and strong legs is also an indicator of long-term independence and strength. And they're some of our biggest muscles in the body. So we're working those to support the brain. We're working those to support movement and independence. So, and that's what's great is we'll do some challenges sometimes, and then hope that they continue to stick. It's like, well, why not continuing to do things like that? And I wanted to say one other thing, Belinda, just to give you credit, like when you said, well, now that we know, I can do these things. And really just to credit you, it's like now that because there is a lot of information out there. And, I like to think that my superpower is teaching and making it kind of succinct and understandable and user friendly. So it's like we can hear things and go, oh, okay. Like it's one thing to tell somebody to exercise and eat better, and it's another thing to say, here's how and here's why and here's how these foods work in the body and this food, it's information and even understanding why the squats can be so important and another way to add movement. But it's all the things that we know, but it's all the things that that you've taken the time to learn, right? And that I think, and everybody in the Vitality Club, it's like we're here because we want to learn more about how do we like support and protect and nourish our own body so we can have, that healthy aging and just this good
Mhm.
experience today, right? It's like, gosh, if I can feel good today and do the things I want to do and treat myself right, maybe I'll also feel good tomorrow and, just continue that path. And that's living. That's vitality.
It is. It is. And um, you and Julie are such wonderful kind of cheerleaders, and I don't mean that in any kind of bad sense, but you give us lots of information, but you also give us lots of really good feedback. So thank you for saying that because um, some days, I kind of wonder if why I'm doing all of this. You know what I mean? Everybody has that
Yeah.
day where they stand there in the kitchen and think, I have to cook dinner yet again tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but um but yes, thank you. And it's the small bites of information that we get, the idea that it's always out there so that if when you were going through things, I think of something later, I can go back and find it. And if I can't find it, I can send an email and ask for help on finding something. So the whole program is set up to make things easy and um, the idea that we want to use them.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's
And
great.
one of the things that I wanted to say is that vitality has so many parts, and there's so
Hmm.
many things that you need to learn about and need to do that I am intrigued by all of the things that even after this time that I'm still learning about myself and about doing them. So that's part of the reason that I keep doing it. Also, the habits and the skills that we get for each month for the topic, and they go along with the information. So you give us real practical things to do, and and you teach us skills that go along with that. And every month they're different, but now that I've sort of been through it, a lot of them are the same because, like the whole idea of pillars, sleep and nutrition and movement and relaxation and all of those things all tie together in order to make you vital. So, and it's also the community. So I learn from the comments from other people who are struggling, and they show up to encourage me and everybody. So, like, even if I don't feel like I've gotten through the material, I just show up. That's a thing I wrote down a bunch of years ago. Just show up. And
Mm.
then I know I'm always setting myself up for success, or I need to be setting myself up for success. And that's something that you've taught me that I can't expect things to just happen. There is a fair amount of work that you have to do during your life. And right now, taking care of myself is one of the most important ones. So, setting myself up so that I can do all of this and showing up for the meetings and putting my sticky notes around the house to remind myself of things is really important for my health and vitality. And I um, I keep doing it so that and I do feel so much better, that I will continue to feel so much better. And if I have questions, I know I have a place to go to. So
Yay. That's awesome. What would you tell somebody who maybe feels stuck and they're listening to you and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm inspired." What would you what words of advice would you give to them?
Um, Small steps make a big difference, and perfection is not necessary. So try small steps. Get yourself the lists that Mary Sheila has and pick one for each week and kind of add on so that you don't have overwhelm. And if it is overwhelming, break it down or pick a different one. And in the beginning, pick easy ones or ones that you think you'll do because you will still notice things and it'll give you the confidence to pick some of the harder ones. And if you do mess up, and you will, don't give up. Just tell yourself this afternoon's a new, a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. Even if you've messed up for 2 weeks, that's okay. I can start back today. So those were the things that I know I tell myself all the time. So I think
Nice.
if you're stuck, those are good things. And Mary Sheila can certainly help you figure out which one you might want to do if,
Yeah,
because there are a lot of small steps in all of the different programs.
that's right.
So
That's
if you
right.
don't like one, you can always find another one.
Totally. Yeah, I know. It reminds me when I first was teaching mindful eating and we were working on like our health dreams. And I was kind of had this whole thing of like, I was going to do, yoga for 45 minutes every morning. I just had this whole thing. And when I wrote, after I wrote it, I felt really overwhelmed. And I was like, okay, I need to change this so that I actually feel like I can do it. And I think that's what you're getting at. It's like,
Yeah.
because when we are successful with something that we bring in, a new habit, that like we're starting to create new neural pathways and it's nice to also celebrate that like oh woohoo like I've been drinking my water every morning woohoo and hydrating or whatever it is or getting to bed by a certain time. We celebrate it, we reinforce it as a good thing for ourselves, and then it feels good to do that thing. We know we're supporting ourselves, so we know we're setting ourselves up for success. So yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's great
Yeah.
advice.
And for me, I make little charts that I check things off in because I still like those star charts that my mom did when I was a little kid. And then I might give myself a trip to a museum or a book or some flowers or just something fun so that I feel like I have a prize at the end.
Yeah.
Even though I know that I should be doing the things, like I shouldn't need a prize. But when you get to the end of the month and you realize all of the things that you have actually done to support yourself, having a new book to read is just a wonderful thing. So, but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I need to see things in my
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
organization.
Yeah. 100%. And that's great. Well, thank you so much, Belinda. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And thank you for sharing because you have such a beautiful journey and you're just like you exactly what you said, like you show up and I would say you're kind of one of those people in the community that really puts wind in my sails because you always show up. It's like, okay, I'm showing up for Belinda, I'm showing up for the other people, but when I always get to see your face, I'm always like, okay, Belinda's here, I'm gonna bring it and let's do this and let's create vitality and support the community with that.
And thank you so much for asking me to do this because as I was reflecting, I sort of gave me another boost because I really do feel really good about the things that I'm doing. So, yes, thank you
Yay.
so very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Belinda. And we'll see you all soon.